Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So let us continue. The management theory. Let's look at the management theory. Um, this we know what a theory is when the hypotheses have been confirmed scientifically, and then it become a theory. Uh, anyway, but when it comes to management, uh, we call them management theories because they are basically the concept surrounding the recommended management strategy, which may include tools like the framework and the guidelines that can be implemented in a modern organization. So usually these management theories, they became very popular during the time of the Industrial Revolution. During that time, companies and organizations, they have large interest, I would say significant interest in maximizing productivity and the efficiency of their workers. So, and they want to do this in a scientific way because science was become popular, I think, after the Renaissance era. So science, people have discovered that science makes things work, and they want to apply that to management and business so that they can maximize productivity and efficiency of their workers. So now, there are two major ones we'll be looking at here. I will start with there are two of them is there are the scientific management theories and then the field management theories. Let's start with the scientific management theory. Make sure that, let's say this. The scientific management theory. Now, according to this theory, those that propounded this theory, their goal is to analyze workflow. Let me put it this way. They believe that we can improve productivity, labor productivity and economic efficiency by analyzing the workflows. So this kind of management theory was developed by Frederick Taylor and was very popular in the 19th century, especially among the US manufacturing industries. So Taylor noted that the work that can be a workflow can be analyzed and then and improved so that labor productivity can become increased. So he believes that workers were lazy. That was a belief of businesses of those days, usually big manufacturing companies, not Taylor himself, but the business. So during that time, most of the business owners even though they're not, many of them are not really multinational corporation. They're not a publicly traded company, but they are really very large. Think of Rockefeller. Think of what's his name? J.P. Morgan. There are many of them at the time, and then they will have the smaller businesses, coal mines owners. So they believe that workers are lazy and work slowly and inefficiently in order to protect their jobs. So that was believed then until the Taylor ushered in the era of scientific management with his book, Principles of Scientific Management. So this book basically changed the way organizations view their workers and their businesses. So remember, the scientific management theory is about analyzing workflow, analyzing the workflow to improve economic efficiency, efficient labor productivity, and doing it in a scientific way. So now, There are things that you see today, they are the product of the era of scientific management. And when you see them today, you know that actually you have seen the principle that are described in the book by Taylor. So things like organizational charts that shows the flow of authority. You have the top management, the CEO, then to vice presidents, and so on and so forth. Things like performance evaluations, things like quality measurement and metrics, production goal, all these things came from, I would say they are the product or the outcome or the offshoot of scientific management theory. So when we say scientific management and Taylorism, so we say that they are similar, but more accurate view is that Taylorism is the first form of scientific management. So like I said, he came in with this book, this publication, and changed the entire management world. So some analysts call him the classical. Well, they gave the name classical perspective to his method, which is the scientific management, because it because of its influence, in the management philosophy of the time. So basically, this book, the one I mentioned in the previous slide, we call it Principles of Scientific Management, suggested that productivity will increase if jobs are optimized and simplified. And how can you optimize and simplify jobs? First of all, you have to analyze the workflow. Then that way you understand the workflow. Then you see what area need to be improved, and then you can then optimize it. So that is the basic theme of Taylorism or scientific management. Analyze the workflow, improve and optimize it so that productivity will increase. So he also proposed matching a worker to a particular job that suited the person's skills level, and then training the worker to do that job in a specific way. So again, you have to analyze the workflow, then see the workers that now you can have, for understanding the workflow, you can now figure out what kind of work or which worker, based on their skill set, will be more suited for this part of the job. So now, we can now look at, summarize the key principles of the scientific management theory. There are 4 principles, 4 core principles, and they still apply to organizations today. The first one is this: look at each job and task scientifically to determine one best way to perform the job. Remember, you analyze the workflow. So that's this was basically what it's saying. You see the best, figure out the best way of doing that task. This is a change from the previous rule of thumb method where workers devise their own ways to do the job. Then once you analyze the workflow and figure out the best way to do that work, you can now hire the right workers for each job and train them to work at the maximum efficiency. Then, of course, you monitor their performance and provide instruction and training when needed, right job. And then, of course, they divide the work between the management and labor so that management can plan and train and workers can execute. So the work, there will be separation of or division of work between the management and those who actually execute the day-to-day operations, so that management will focus on planning and training and workers will execute the tasks. Now, there's another theory that is that's under the scientific management umbrella. We have Frank and Lillian Gilbreth. I won't call it theory, but I will call it they took the scientific management team one step forward. So they believe that fundamentally that happy, healthy workers we are vital to an efficient and successful workplace. So to them, defining a method of optimization that will boost profit without sacrificing health, safety, and well-being of the workers should be top priority. So even though the organizations want to find a way to boost profits, now they should not do that at the back of the workers. I mean, the workers are the people that move the company, do the project, actually carry out the projects that will take the company from point A to point B. So that means, but there's a way you will push them to do it. It becomes too dangerous to their health or safety or their general well-being. So the priority must be, I want them to give me this. I want my workers to give me A. So I'm going to give them B. That means B becomes the necessary condition. Maybe a work environment, then their wages, and of course, other things that are necessary to make them feel comfortable to give me what I want. So while Taylor focused on reducing the process time, Gilbreth tried to make the overall process more difficult by reducing the emotions involved. Okay. So in the, they find their methods to be more humane in the sense that it is more concerned with the workers' welfare than that of terrorism, which workers are less relevant than profits. So now we look at scientific management in retrospect. I mean, what happened to scientific management today? Well, we still use them, even though it was something that was pioneered in the 1900s. It continued to make significant contributions to management theory toward the rest of the 20th century and even today. Okay. Now, as we know, we have made a lot of advancements worldwide in statistical methods that that we use to make decisions and, of course, run a business. Things like quality assurance and quality control began in the 1920s and 1930s, and this continue to be very paramount when it comes to competition for customers. So during the 1940s and 1950s, scientific management now evolved into operations management. So I'm sure that you must have heard of that name before, or course, or something that is called operations management, or operations research, or management cybernetics. So all these are actually new names for this scientific management method. So in the 1980s, total quality management became widely popular, and in the 1990s, reengineering became increasingly popular. Okay. So this means that scientific management principles, or what they propounded in the 19th century, we still use them today. So we can now, it makes sense, a lot of sense, to argue that Taylorism, who is considered almost to be the father of scientific management, that Taylorism, or Taylor and what's his name, the other guy, which is Frank and Lillian Gilbreth, I would say that they laid the groundwork for this large and influential practice, influential fields. I will put it this way: they laid the groundwork for the, development of operational management, operation research, and management cybernetics today. Now, at this point, we are ready to look at the administrative theory, and we look at it the way Henry Fayol, who is also a management thinker, approached it. So Henry Fayol and the administrative theory, the main concern he has was with setting out the step managers to get the best for employees. He's also interested in how managers can run a business efficiently. Now, to him, successful organization and therefore successful management were linked to satisfied and motivated employees. And when your employees are motivated, a lot can happen when your employees are motivated. Yeah. So, according to Fayol, there are 5 duties of management. The first one is foresight. That means the ability to create a plan of action for the future. The second one is organization, which provide resources to implement the plan. Then the command. Yeah, under this command, the manager select and lead the best workers through clear instruction and orders. And coordinate, which is the fourth of the 5 duties. Coordinate, that means manager should make sure that effort are fit together through clear communication. And the last one is control. They need to verify whether things are going according to plan and make corrections where necessary. So, given this 5 duties of management, we can now summarize them in this form. We can summarize as follows: that the 4 functions of management are planning. I'll put it this way: that what Fayol gave Henry Fayol gave us have now evolved to become 4 functions of management: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So let's look at Fayol principle today. How are we using it? Because all these things they are scientific, and because they are scientific, they have improved the organizational process a lot. So it is only natural that organization will continue to adopt those principles. If you look at Fayol principle today, they are still included in the management theory and practice, and they include the following: scalar chain. So what does it say? Scalar chain, according to this principle, there's an unbroken chain of command extends from the top to the bottom of the organization, which is true. If you look at the organizational structure, you see the chain of commands from the top management, you see the board of directors, the CEO, then to vice president, then to middle managers, and then the other top managers, then before they get to the floor, people who work on the floor. So there's an unbroken chain of command that extends from the top of the bottom of the organization. Now, next one is the unity of command. Well, this means that employees should receive order from one supervisor. That's why you have to go to these different departments. You see the secretaries or the administrative assistants that answers to one boss. So you have different departments have their individual boss or managers, and they have employees that report to them. That is what this unity of command is. That the employees receive orders from only one supervisor, so that they won't get confused. Then another one is the unity of direction, which is a name, which are activities that are similar. Should be the employees should be given a certain job. If you look at the advertisement for certain job, for example, you see that they have this job, they have the tasks that are to be accomplished by the person who are assigned to this job. So you can see that task they gave you is what you'll be doing every day you come to that work. That's what unity of direction is saying. It is saying that activities that are similar should be the responsibility of one person. The division of work, a worker specialized in tasks to become more efficient, more proficient. Given that, having given you this background, we are now ready to take a look at the functions of management today. So, as I noted, in the past, management theorists have built upon and refined work of Fayol, and then have combined the command and the coordinate function into one function, which is the leading function. So, based on what the background information we have about the Fayol and Henry Fayol and Frank and Lilian Gilbert, as well as that of Taylor. The management functions can now be, extracted from their what they provided us and summarized into 6 functions: about the planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and directing, then controlling and monitoring. So these are the main functions of management. Of course, there are other addendum to this function, but these are the key ones that managers need to know how to do. Let's start with planning. So when we plan, it means that we are deciding what needs to be done at a particular point in time. So planning means deciding what needs to be done in the future. The future can be today, future can be next week, so on and so forth. So planning means deciding when to, it's also a process of thinking about organizing activities that the company needs to achieve their goal. So businesses need to have a plan. Without the plan, a good plan, the business will have a lot of problems. So, which means that any business without a solid strategic, operational, or contingency plans we have a very big problem when it comes to meeting their goals and objectives. But it is only a business that wants to survive by law that doesn't have a plan. Yeah. So now let's look at how managers begin to plan, what they do in the process. Now, the main foundation of planning begins with an idea, an opportunity, or a dream. So companies usually often put that opportunity. They often summarize it in the form of their company's vision and mission statements. So this vision and mission statement creates the foundation for planning by summarizing the company's business strategy in the form that can be communicated and understood by the stakeholders. So let's look at vision statement and then mission statement. Now, a vision statement gives employees something to rally behind. Now, so this is what the company, this is what their vision is. So something to rally behind. And for those businesses that choose to make their vision statement public, it tells the world where the company is going. So that's what the vision statement does. So I'll give you an example with IKEA. I'm sure you guys know a company that's called IKEA. IKEA is owned by Sweden. They have branches here in the United States. And what they do is they manufacture, they do all kind of household, like furniture, especially furniture. So their vision is summarize it in this form. They say that their vision is to create a better everyday life for many people. That's their vision. Create a better everyday life for many people. Now, the vision statement, that's what the vision statement does. It gives employees and customers something to rally behind to create a better everyday life for many people. That's a very bold statement, you know. So how are they going to do this? That will lead us to the mission statement. In the mission statement, the company outlines how the business will turn the vision into reality and become the foundation for establishing the specific goal of the objectives. So, to IKEA's vision statement of creating a better everyday life for many people, how are they going to do this? Okay, look at their mission statement. So, their mission is to offer wide range of well-designed functional home furnishings products at prices so low that as many people as possible will be able to afford them. So the way that they want to make life, the way they want to create a better life for a better everyday life for many people is to offer a wide range of well-designed functional home furnishing products at prices so low that as many people as possible will be able to afford them. See? So this is the foundation of the planning. Excuse me. Everything that comes after that, everything comes after that is hinged on this vision and mission statement. Excuse me. So in other words, planning cannot begin until a business has determined what the mission is. And also, one cannot plan. One plan cannot possibly encompass everything. It's just the key things that the company, the managers basically are required to develop a set of plans that together guide the organization activities. Other things can be added later to the plan. Now, at this point, we're ready to review the different levels of planning. I will look at 4 levels of planning. One is strategic plans, tactical plans, operational plans, and contingency plans. So let's each of these phase of plan. The strategic plan is the first one, which is the most important. All of them are important. Remember, the most important is the strategic plans, and then followed by the other plans. So each phase is a subset of the one that before it. Now let's look at strategic plan. So under this plan, managers has tried to answer the following questions: where are we now? Where is the company today? Where do we want to be? And how can we get there? So that is what strategic plan is. So in other words, strategic plans translate the company's mission into a set of long-term goals and short-term objectives. I'll give you an example. For the company, the goal might be to increase sales by 20%. Increase sales by 20%. That's a strategic plan. Increase sales by 20% over the next 2 quarters. So now the strategy now becomes by increasing online marketing and social media pressure by 25% in the 2 quarters. So the plan is to increase the online sale by 20%. To do that, you have to increase online marketing and social media presence by 25%. See? So which leads us to next one, which is tactical plans. Okay. Now, the main question that the tactical plan answers are as follows: what is to be done? who is going to do it? How is it to be done? So in other words, what the tactical plan does is to translate high-level strategic plan into specific plans for action that need to be taken up and down the layers of organization. So I'll give you an example here. A strategic plan or a strategic goal might be to develop a company culture that encourages growth and retention. Maybe that the company is having issue with retaining employees. So they want to develop a culture that encourages growth and retention. So now the tactical, this is the strategic goal is to develop a company culture that encourages growth of the employees, professional growth, of course, and retention. Now, how do you achieve that? That's where tactical plan comes. What is to be done? So a tactical goal might be to send out surveys to employees to figure out what made them to leave the organization. From there, we can now develop what to do. I'll give you an example because usually examples help to understand this better. If a company strategic goal is to make a bid, maybe a bid for contracts. Now, tactical plan will be how to do it. It will have to use promotions, lower prices, customize offer and tactics to achieve the goal. Okay. Then other tactical plans, we can say things like price changes. Okay, want to increase profitability, and you can say, okay, let us increase, or let me put it this way: so that the cost of energy for production is going up. How are you gonna survive this? Is it because it's eating away your profit? But it's okay, let us change the prices, increase the prices. Let us pass this cost to the customer by increasing the price, of our product or service to a certain level. That is also tactical plan. Work schedules, departmental recognition, and the similar activities are also under the umbrella of the tactical plan. Then next is the operational plans. Now, as the name implies again, we call it operational plan because it establishes the third standards that guide the implementation of the tactical plan, and then establishes the activities and budgets for each of the part of the organization. So now, through organizational plan, the manager may set schedules and standard for day-to-day operation of the business and name people who are responsible for each step. So the operational plans can be used to set the schedules and standards for the day-to-day operation of the business, and then name supervisors, employees, and departments that will be, in charge of those. And I'll give you an example with a manufacturer who is creating a plan to increase revenue by 30%. Okay, so that is the his goal, to increase revenue by 30%. Now, finance partners with sales, marketing team, operation, and other key areas to align. So we have to achieve this goal. The operational plan for achieving this goal is to align the marketing team, sales team, and operations and other key business teams to have to align so that they work together to support the revenue growth and achieve the goal of the plan, the company. Yeah. Then we have contingency plan. This one is another name for it. You can call it emergency plan. So we know that unforeseen events can happen to business. Yeah, like today, let me use our class today as an example. things happen that didn't make me it possible for me to come down to the campus. So because of that, we have a plan already. Okay, even though I couldn't come down to the campus, we can still have our class through we can have it remotely. So this is a good example of how contingency plan works. Unforeseen events or disaster can be especially harmful to a business. Things like earthquake. Think of what happened in Turkey and Syria, I think Syria recently. Okay, think of fire. Think of flood. All these things can make it impossible to continue normal business operations. So a contingency plan lays out the course of action business can take in response to the possible future events. So now the simplest contingency plan can be to backing up all websites in case the website gets hacked. So a company might back up its websites so that if their website gets hacked, they can easily restore the data after regaining access and then changing passwords. So there are many more examples, and I made it very clearer here. Look at this one, the risk, disaster or severe weather events. The plan is this: to include the right to cancel without refund in the event of a disaster or severe weather. See, and they have to communicate this cancellation in a timely manner. So each of them have different contingency plan. Let's say that this one have catering fails to show up or deliver. This is the problem. So it is good to prepare for this by developing a list of local restaurants that can provide acceptable food for the event on a pickup basis on short notice. So that when the caterer doesn't show up, you can substitute by picking up food and beverages from the multiple restaurants that you chose. So this is an example of contingency plans. So the one planning tool we use a lot is called a SWOT analysis. So it stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So when company conducts a SWOT analysis, they mean that they are projecting, they are providing a means of projecting expectations, anticipating problems, and guiding decision making. So that with a SWOT analysis, they can examine the internal and external factors that impact the organization. So look at a good example of a SWOT analysis here. You can see the company's strengths. It says strengths. What do we do well? What have our customers or partners told us they like about us? Then look at the weaknesses. What can we improve? What are our customers? What are our customers or partners dissatisfied with? Then these are opportunities. What emerging trend can we take advantage of? Which of our strengths might be valuable to potential partners? There's opportunities and so on and so forth. Then they have what is threat is what is our competition doing? How could our weakness leave us vulnerable? So I recommend that at this point, please try and read up the rest of this. They are really self-explanatory. And I will see you guys next week, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
You too. Okay, bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Goodbye.